Hey Grownups, I have something exciting to share with you. There's a brand new kids podcast out now that I think you're going to love. It's called Mysteries About True Histories. This show is perfect if you love adventures, solving riddles, and maybe even some wacky math problems. But I need a little help from some new friends to tell you more. Max and Molly, take it away.
From the creators of Who Smarted, Starglow Media, comes a brand new podcast called Mysteries About True Histories.
Does that sound serious enough?
Max, we only have 30 seconds for this promo. Just tell them how your mysterious aunt recruited us into a secret order of problem solvers who travel time and have epic adventures.
I don't have to. You just did.
Catch new episodes of Mysteries About True Histories every Thursday on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey Tailblazers, I'm Rebecca Cunningham.
I'm Blake, and this is Girl Tales,
A kids podcast of feminist stories for a new generation. Before we get started, I'd like to wish a very happy birthday to Emmeline and send some special shout-outs to Stella Grace, Lila Kate, and my co-host, Blake. Grownups, if you would like your Tailblazer to co-host an episode with me,
head to patreon.com/girltales and donate today.
Now on to our episode.
This is Lulu's New Cape
by Brandice Peltier.
Enjoy!
Once upon a time on a small, beautiful, and sparkly planet, there lived the most colorful little girl in the whole entire galaxy. Her name was Lulu Rainbow.
Wait, was she as colorful as me?
Well, Patty Peacock, you don't get a name like Lulu Rainbow without being colorful. You see, Lulu was from the only place in the universe where all of the children were born with colorful hair.
Huh. And the adults as well?
Some adults still had patches of colorful hair in the back, but it was a rare thing to see an adult on planet Calorium with as many colors as Lulu.
Interesting.
But the whole planet was a collage of vibrant colors. The rivers on planet Calorium were pink and blue. The trees were red, yellow, and purple even. Even though this planet was filled with the most colorful creatures the world has ever seen, no one had quite as many colors as Lulu did on top of their heads.
Well, just how many different hair colors did Lulu have in her hair?
4 different colors. The left side of her head was filled with curly purple hair, while the right side was filled with curly blue hair. She had a patch of yellow hair in the front and a patch of pink hair in the back. And that's not the only thing about Lulu that was colorful. She had 1 purple eye and 1 orange eye underneath her silver and gold sparkly eyelashes. To top it off, Lulu had a rainbow-colored heart-shaped birthmark on her cheek.
All right. That's pretty colorful.
Her grandmother, Grandma Colorina, would always say,
"You are full of magic, my sweet Lulu, because magic is made up of many colors, just like you."
Then she tapped Lulu on her head with her sparkly wand. All of the other children on planet Calorium had bright-colored hair as well, so it was nothing strange to see an orange-haired kid or a family of pink-haired children walking down the street. Here on planet Calorium, Lulu never felt out of place, being a walking rainbow, if you will.
A walking rainbow, you say? Story of my life.
Actually, never mind. Moving on. Being colorful was celebrated on planet Calorium. Once a year, they would hold an annual Color Blast Extravaganza Festival to celebrate the person who wore the most colorful cape.
I would certainly win first place. Just look at me.
I don't know, Patty. This festival was very important to Lulu. She took it very seriously. It was her favorite day of the year, and it was a tradition that went back hundreds of years on planet Calorium. It was the biggest celebration in the entire galaxy. There was always dancing, music, food, and fireworks, and the festival always ended with a beautiful costume parade. It was the perfect time for Lulu to celebrate all of her true colors. During this time, she never felt embarrassed to be the most colorful girl in the galaxy, and she wanted it to always be this way. She even said so the night she won first place at the festival. Oh, Grandma, I can't believe that I just won the annual Color Blast Extravaganza Festival tonight. And we won because of this beautiful new cape that you made. Everyone said that it was magical. I never want to leave Planet Colorium. Lulu was so full of excitement, she began twirling in her new cape, leaving little trails of glitter and sparkles all around her.
Well, what did this cape look like? I must know. Indulge me.
Oh, it was the most glorious thing you've ever seen. It was complete with glitter, gold, beads, buttons, stickers, ribbon, and of course, every color fabric they could find. In my professional opinion, I would say it was a masterpiece.
Oh, don't be dramatic.
Says the peacock.
What makes you a professional on capes, anyhow?
Just trust me, Patty. It was the most splendid cape anyone had ever seen. And since this cape was so amazing, Lulu began to wonder how they would top it for the next year. How will we make an even more colorful cape for next year's festival, Grandma? Grandma Colorina just smiled at Lulu for a moment and watched her twirl around in her new cape. She didn't want to ruin Lulu's excitement of winning first place, but she had to let her know that this was the last Color Blast festival that Lulu would ever get to attend on Planet Colorium.
You know, Lulu, tomorrow you will have to leave Planet Colorium to go to school on a new planet because your mother just got a new job on Planet Gray-Brown.
Oh, Grandma, that can't be. I'll never leave the most colorful place in the world. This is my home. Her grandmother just kept quiet for a moment before she responded. It wasn't an easy thing for either of them to leave home. Grandma Colorina loved making the costumes with Lulu every year. It was their favorite tradition. She loved celebrating everyone's natural colors. She took one of Lulu's hands in hers.
Lulu Rainbow, my dear, we will indeed be moving to Planet Gray-Brown tomorrow morning. We have already found a new school for you over there. You will have to make new friends.
What? No, Grandma, I don't want to go there. I will not. You can't make me leave Planet Colorium. Lulu began to get sad thinking about leaving her home of many colors. She had heard stories about the children on Planet Gray-Brown. She had heard that the children there weren't born with colorful hair or colorful eyes. She also heard that their houses and buildings were all gray and brown. Their rivers were gray. Even the sky was gray. That's it. There was no color anywhere on Planet Gray-Brown.
Oh, the horror! I can't imagine.
She had even heard that the children were not allowed to wear different colored clothes to school. She just couldn't believe that she was moving to a planet with no color. I will stand out way too much on Planet Gray-Brown. They'll make fun of my hair and my eyes and all of my colors. I'm not going. This is my home. Grandma Colorina walked over to Lulu to give her a warm hug.
My sweet Lulu. Home is where you make it. You can make a home anywhere by making new friends. And you'll make new friends by being exactly who you are. I'm just so happy we got to enjoy our last Color Blast Festival together. It's now time to celebrate new beginnings.
I'm not going. Lulu threw her cape on the floor and stumped her foot. They won't like me. I'm too different. Clearly, Lulu was very nervous about starting a new school on Planet Gray-Brown.
I sure wouldn't be nervous. The idea of standing out amongst a crowd would be simply wonderful. I love when people stare, darling.
Well, I happen to think that most children would be a little nervous to go to a brand new school on a brand new planet where they didn't know anyone and no one looked like them.
If you say so. I can't relate.
She had never been to a colorless planet, Patty, much less a colorless school. She didn't know what to expect. Would the other children think that she was weird? Would no one sit with her at the lunch table? Would they laugh at her hair and eyes? It was too much for Lulu to think about, so she ran upstairs and slammed her bedroom door. She sat in the corner and cried. Her grandmother noticed how upset she was and called out to her.
Oh, I have an idea. What if I teach you a simple magic spell to help you bring out the best in you so that it will be easier for you to make new friends in your new school?
Lulu opened her door slowly. She was peeking out with her big purple and orange eyes. Really? You can teach me a magic spell to make my hair and eyes colorless?
Now, Lulu. I didn't say that I could teach you a spell to change who you are. I said that I can teach you a spell to help you bring out the best in you. You must understand that when you bring out the best in yourself, you bring out the best in others. And that's how you make new friends. Sometimes you just need a little boost of confidence.
Confidence? What is that, Grandma?
I know what it is. I was born with it. But I'll let Grandma tell it.
Confidence is your magic. Confidence is when you feel good about yourself and you like yourself just the way you are.
As Lulu made her way down the steps, Grandma Colorina walked her over to the mirror on the wall.
Confidence comes from within. From right here.
Lulu's grandmother placed her hand gently over Lulu's heart.
Remember, you can never change who you are, because who you are is magic. But you can always boost your confidence.
But I don't want to be this colorful anymore, Grandma. If I don't change my hair and eye colors, I will never fit in on Planet Gray Brown.
Oh, sweetie, you don't always have to fit in. We wouldn't have our own special magic if we were all the same.
Well, Lulu didn't like that answer very much at all. She was certain that the only way she was going to make new friends on a whole different planet was to get rid of all the things that made her different from the other kids. She wanted to get rid of all the colors in her hair, her eyes, her clothes. Not to mention she had to find a way to get rid of her gigantic rainbow-colored birthmark on her cheek. Even though her grandmother said that she could never change who she was, that is, in fact, exactly what Lulu wanted to do. She decided to ask her grandmother again for the magic spell in hopes that she could make some small changes to the spell for it to work in her favor.
Well, I never. Do you know how many other peacocks wish to have as colorful feathers as mine? And here she is trying to get rid of her colors?
Sometimes we wish for all the things that we don't have and forget to see the beauty in all the things that we already possess. That's why Lulu began to beg for the magic spell in hopes that she could change. Grandma, please teach me the magic spell. I promise I won't try to change who I am.
That's my Lulu rainbow. But remember, if you ask the spell to change who you are, it will only give you more of what makes you special.
We'll see about that, Lulu thought to herself. I will make the spell work by changing my hair and eyes, everything about me. Then I won't stand out at all at my new school.
Now, listen carefully. This is what you'll need to do.
Her grandmother pulled out her glittery magic wand to show exactly how to cast the spell.
Stand in front of the mirror right before you go to bed. While you are staring at your reflection, you will take this wand and wave it around your head. Then, repeat after me. I am magical. I am happy. I am free to be me. I call upon my reflection to bring out the very best in me. Then, you clap 3 times. When you wake in the morning, you will find a magical object laying on your bed. This new object will be used to help boost your...
Grandma Colorina waited for Lulu to finish her sentence for her. Confidence. And what will the magical object be, Grandma?
I do not know what the object will be. It will reveal itself to you on its own. Trust that it will be something that you already possess. And once you feel that you truly do not need the magical object anymore, you will be able to let it go.
Lulu, filled with excitement, burst out in tears of joy. Thank you, Grandma! Now I can't wait to make new friends on planet Gray-Brown. Now that Lulu had learned a new spell, she was finally excited at the thought of moving to a new place.
Now, it's bedtime, young lady.
Grandma Colorina tucked Lulu in tightly as she lay her glorious cape on top of her like a blanket.
Mwah! Good night, my sweet rainbow girl.
Good night, Grandma. Tomorrow is going to be the best day ever on my new planet. Lulu laid her head down on her pillow while her grandmother tucked her magic wand under Lulu's pillow. As Grandma Colorina closed the door, Lulu grabbed the magic wand from beneath her pillow and jumped right out of bed. She could hardly wait to use the wand. She rushed to the mirror to do the spell. Lulu stared at her reflection, trying to remember everything that her grandmother had told her about the magic spell. Okay, Grandma said that I can't use this spell to change who I am, but I have to change to make friends on planet Gray-Brown. Lulu stared at her reflection for a few seconds while trying to imagine her hair with no color. She tried to imagine her eyes and eyelashes without any color as well, and she also imagined what she would look like without her giant rainbow birthmark on her cheek. It made her a little sad to know that she wouldn't be a walking rainbow any longer, but she knew it's what she had to do to make new friends in her new school. It was the only way that she was going to be accepted, or so she thought. So Lulu started to wave the magic wand above her head. She closed her eyes and began the magic spell.
No! Don't do it! I can't bear to watch.
I am magical, I am happy, I am free to be me. I call upon my reflection to bring out the very best in me. Then she clapped her hands 3 times. Lulu stood there in front of her mirror as she opened her eyes slowly and stared at her reflection in shock. Much to Lulu's surprise, the spell didn't work at all. Nothing had changed in her reflection.
What?
How can this be? Grandma said that the spell would bring out the best in me. Why am I still so colorful? No, I have to try again.
Well, what did she look like?
Her hair was still 4 different colors, her eyes were still purple and orange, and the rainbow birthmark on her cheek was still there. Wait, Grandma said that there would be a magical object that would reveal itself to me in the morning. So maybe I just have to wait till the morning for the magical object to take all of my colors away. But the longer Lulu stared at her colorful reflection in the mirror, the more impatient she got. I must have done the spell wrong. I have to try harder. So Lulu began the magic spell again. But this time, she did exactly what her grandmother had told her not to do. She asked for the magic spell to change who she was. She started to twirl the magic wand above her head again. She concentrated really hard this time. I am magical. I am happy. I am free to be me. I call upon my reflection to make my hair and my eyes colorless and change all the colors on me. Oh, and please get rid of my rainbow birthmark on my cheek. Change everything. Lulu clapped 3 times and opened her eyes slowly. She was certain that all of her colorful hair would be gone. She was certain that her eyes would no longer be purple and orange, and she was certain that her eyelashes wouldn't be silver and gold with sparkles. She was certain that the rainbow birthmark on her cheek would have disappeared.
And?
Lo and behold, there she stood staring at her hair in the mirror that now had 5 different colors in it. Then she noticed that her eyebrows had turned yellow with pink polka dots in them.
What about the rainbow birthmark?
Well, it was even bigger than before. Oh no! What have I done? No, this is all wrong. I'm even more colorful than before. Lulu frantically looked around the room for the magical object that would help her. All she saw was her colorful cape, and Lulu knew there was no way that a colorful cape would help her make new friends on planet Gray-Brown. I'll just go to sleep, and everything will be fine in the morning, just like Grandma said. I'll wake up, and everything on me will be gray, she said to herself. She tucked the cape under her bed, then dozed off to sleep. The next morning, the birds were chirping and the sun was shining so bright through Lulu's window that it woke her up early with a burst of energy. She sat straight up in her bed, anxious to see her new gray reflection. I just needed to wait till morning for the spell to work. But as she was about to get out of bed, she felt her cape around her shoulders. That's strange. I tucked the cape under my bed last night. Why is it wrapped around my shoulders this morning? Oh, Grandma probably came back and wrapped it around me. Lulu then tried to remove the cape, but it wouldn't budge. Why won't this cape come off me? I can't go to my new school in this. It's way too colorful. She tugged and tugged at the glittering, shiny, colorful cape, but it would not come off no matter how hard she tried. Lulu hopped out of bed and ran to the mirror. Much to her surprise, her hair had 2 more colors in it. Lulu now had 7 different colors in her hair and a cape that was stuck to her. But in that moment, something very strange happened inside of Lulu. She felt magical. She felt proud. She felt...
Confident?
Yes. Good job, Patty.
Well, confidence comes naturally to me. I am a peacock, after all.
You wouldn't dare let us forget.
But I'll let Lulu say it.
Thank you, so kind of you. Lulu then yelled out, I feel confident! Almost immediately after that, she began to stand up a little taller. Her smile got even bigger, her eyes got a little brighter, and she started to twirl around in her new cape. Her feet began to float off the ground, and Lulu started to giggle as she floated to the top of the ceiling. I am magical, I'm happy, I'm free to be me! She yelled so loud with excitement that she woke her grandma up in the next room.
Lulu, are you okay in there?
Yes, Grandma, I'm ready to go to my new school and make new friends. Grandma Colorina rushed into Lulu's room to see her flying above her head in her new cape.
Wow, look at you! You're even more colorful than before.
Yes, but I feel so confident.
That's lovely, my dear. Now come down from there. We have to get going.
Lulu landed with a thump on her bedroom floor. Her new confidence would take some getting used to.
Remember that your new cape only gave you a boost of confidence, sweetie. The magic is always within you.
Later that day, as Lulu, her mother, and grandmother were pulling up to their new home in their new neighborhood on Planet Gray Brown, Lulu noticed a grumpy-looking neighbor boy, Johnny Gray, staring at her as she got out of the car.
Did Johnny Gray wear gray-colored clothes by chance?
Well, Patty, you don't get a name like Johnny Gray for nothing. He did, in fact, have gray hair, gray pants, a gray shirt, gray eyes, and he lived in a gray house. Seeing someone like Lulu, the walking rainbow, was a bit of a shock for him. He just stood still with his eyes wide and his mouth open in amazement. Since Lulu was full of confidence in her new cape, she just walked straight up to him. Hello, neighbor. I like your gray pants. My name's Lulu Rainbow. Nice to meet you. Johnny Gray was speechless as he stared at Lulu's hair with 7 different colors in it. He was amazed. He stared at her eyes, her eyebrows, her sparkly eyelashes, and her rainbow-colored birthmark on her cheek. He had never seen someone so colorful. He got nervous and started to laugh out loud.
I hope you don't come to school like that tomorrow. You're so weird. Why are you wearing that silly cape? You look foolish. Everybody, look at her. She's so weird, isn't she?
He started laughing so loud that the other neighborhood kids started to come out of their houses to see what all of the commotion was about.
Ooh. Whoa.
Look at all those colors on her cape,
Said one kid.
Her hair is cool.
She's so different.
Said another kid.
I think it's pretty.
It's beautiful.
Said another.
Her cape is magical.
It's magnificent.
Said another kid. Johnny Gray noticed how all the other kids were admiring Lulu and her cape. And let's just say he was not happy at all about their reaction. He yelled in a burst of anger.
I hate that stupid cape. It's ugly. It's too colorful. It's not magical at all. Only a weird person would wear something like that. Can't you see how weird she is? Take it off.
All of the other neighborhood kids stared at Lulu in her glorious cape for a few seconds. All of a sudden, their opinions started to change.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of weird,
said one kid.
It's a little strange now that I look at it,
said the other kid.
It's too different,
said another.
I wouldn't dare wear that to school. It's pretty silly looking. Too many colors.
Johnny Gray smiled at all the other kids' changed reactions.
Told you, it's silly. You're way too colorful. You better not come to school like that tomorrow. You'll be the laughingstock of the entire school.
Now Lulu, standing there in her new cape, had every right to feel a little sad with all of the neighborhood kids poking fun at her. But instead, she was still feeling happy and confident. She wasn't bothered one bit. I love all of my colors, and I love my new cape. It gives me confidence. Then she twirled away, leaving Johnny Gray covered in glitter and sparkles. Johnny Gray watched in awe as Lulu confidently pranced away in her oh-so-colorful and glamorous cape. He started to wonder if he too was to have that cape. Would he feel the same way? He had to find out.
I must get that cape from her. That cape is truly magical. There's no way she would be that confident without it. Look at how it makes her feel.
The very next morning was Lulu's first day of school on Planet Gray-Brown, and she could not have been any more excited. She even woke up singing. La, la, la. I'm happy. I'm magical. I'm free to be me. She twirled downstairs in her cape to greet her mother and grandmother for breakfast.
Well, looks like someone is excited about her first day at the new school. I'm glad you are excited to make new friends, Lulu. But you know that you can't wear that cape forever.
Yes, I can. Lulu's grandmother gave her a concerned look. She didn't want Lulu to get too attached to her cape because she certainly didn't want her to feel like she needed her cape to feel special.
Remember what we talked about, Lulu?
Yes, Grandma, I know. Confidence comes from within. But now that I have this cape, I think it mostly comes from my new cape. I'll be the most liked girl in school because of my new cape. You'll see. A few moments after that, Lulu and her mother were getting in the car to head to school. Johnny Gray stood on his doorstep watching Lulu with an evil look.
That cape is gonna be mine by the end of the day. I can't wait to steal it from her when she's not looking,
he said to himself, rubbing his palms together.
Let's see just how confident she is after that. No one can be that happy on their own.
Later on that day, when Lulu arrived to her new school, she was greeted by a huge crowd of students as she walked confidently up to the front door.
There she is, the most colorful girl in the world,
said one kid.
Wow, look at her, she's glowing,
said another.
Look how magnificent her cape is. She looks like a rainbow,
yelled another kid.
She's magical.
She looks so happy.
She's so cool,
shouted another kid. The entire school was blown away when they saw Lulu in all of her colors. They had never seen someone so colorful and confident. There had never been a new kid that was so friendly and not shy at all. All of the kids started running up to her to touch her cape.
Can I wear it?
Let me see it.
I want it.
I want it too.
All the colors are amazing.
I need a cape like that. Will you be my friend?
The kids continued to crowd around Lulu as they pulled and tugged on the cape, but the cape would not budge. It was stuck to Lulu. Johnny Gray was in the back of the crowd watching all of the chaos, getting more and more annoyed by all of the attention that Lulu and her cape were getting. He had to put it into it. He yelled at the top of his lungs.
Don't be fooled! The cape is what makes her magical. She doesn't have any magic of her own. It's the cape that makes her special. She's nothing without her cape. I'll prove it!
The large crowd suddenly went silent. The kids all stared at Lulu in her glorious cape. Then, the crowd started whispering amongst themselves.
She needs her cape to feel good about herself.
She'll probably be unhappy without it.
Yeah, she needs a magic cape to make her happy.
That's so ridiculous. She's probably scared to take it off.
How embarrassing!
Lulu looked around at all the other kids as they waited for her to take off the cape. She didn't know what to do. She knew that she could take the cape off right now if she wanted to, right?
Right.
She could prove to them that she didn't need it.
I couldn't agree more.
But
There's always a but.
Lulu was scared that maybe she did need it. She just stood there frozen like a statue, not knowing what to do. If she took the cape off, would all the other kids see her lose confidence? Would they think that she was just pretending to be confident and happy?
Told you, the cape is what makes her cool.
Johnny Gray blurted out. Then all of the school kids started chanting so loud.
Take off the cape! Take off the cape! Take off the cape!
Okay, I'll take the cape off right now to prove to you that I don't need it to feel good about myself.
Lulu started to untie the knots of the cape around her neck, but try as she might, she could not get them loose. She tugged and tugged and tugged on the cape, but the cape would not budge. The kids started to tug and tug on her cape as well. They couldn't get it off.
What's happening? Why can't I get the cape off?
She thought frantically. Then she saw the piece of gold ribbon that her grandmother had sewed on it and suddenly remembered what her grandmother Colorina had told her.
Once you feel that you truly do not need the magical object anymore, you will be able to let it go.
Lulu looked around again at the crowd of angry school kids waiting for her to take the cape off.
I have to use the bathroom.
Lulu shouted, just looking for any excuse to run away from the demanding crowd. She ran into the school bathroom at full speed and locked the door behind her. There, Lulu stood in front of the bathroom mirror, staring at her colorful hair, her colorful eyes, her colorful eyebrows, her colorful eyelashes, and her rainbow birthmark on her cheek. She remembered how all of her natural colors were celebrated on her home planet, Planet Colorium. She remembered how much she loved being colorful, even before she had the cape. She never needed a cape before to feel good about herself. Why would she need it now?
I was already colorful before I had this cape. Grandma said that I was colorful because I was full of my own magic.
Then it hit her, standing there looking at her reflection in the bathroom mirror.
Yes! I was already full of my own magic.
Something very peculiar happened in that very moment. The cape began to loosen up around Lulu's shoulders. The knot at the top slowly became undone. Lulu unlocked the bathroom door as Johnny Gray suddenly appeared and snatched the cape from her back. Lulu gasped at the thought of being without her cape. Johnny Gray, filled with excitement, ran down the hall waving the cape in the air and shouting,
Yes! I got the magic cape! I got the magic cape! Now I'll be the most confident, most liked kid in the school!
Lulu stood frozen as the other kids waited to see what she was going to do without her cape. Paralyzed in fear, she took a few deep breaths, then lifted her head up and paraded down the hallway as the crowd slowly parted. As Lulu began to speak, a hush fell over the crowd.
My name is Lulu Rainbow. I am the most colorful girl in the galaxy. I'm from Planet Colorium, where we celebrate who we are. We celebrate all of our true colors. I may not look like any of you, and that's okay. My grandma says that being different is how we discover our own magic.
The kids all looked around confused. They started to whisper again.
She doesn't even have her cape on.
How is she still so confident? Does she know that she doesn't have her cape on?
Maybe she's magical without it.
Maybe she doesn't need her cape anymore.
On my planet, we have the annual Color Blast Extravaganza Festival, and it's my favorite day of the year. This festival is meant to celebrate everyone's individual colors. Who wants to join me in celebrating our true colors?
Lulu then pointed to a girl in the crowd and said,
It's your turn to show off your magical colors. Tell us all about your costume.
The entire crowd turned to look at the girl. They were even more confused because the little girl was wearing an all-gray uniform. She didn't have any colors on at all.
You don't see all of her magical colors?
Lulu asked the crowd, as they tried even harder to see what Lulu was seeing.
Look closer. It's all there. The magic is inside of her.
All of a sudden, the little girl's head lifted. Her posture straightened, her smile brightened, and she began to parade through the crowd with confidence.
I see it now.
I see all of her colors too.
She's magical.
She's wearing the most glamorous and beautiful gown.
One by one, each kid took turns parading through the crowd as they showed off their magical, colorful costumes, dancing and twirling down the hallway. Suddenly, Johnny Gray came storming back wearing Lulu's cape.
It's not working! The cape is broken! I don't feel confident at all!
That's because you can't take someone else's confidence. You have to find your own. That is how magic works.
Johnny Gray looked around at all the other kids in their gray uniforms, walking with their heads high as if they were wearing the most royal, beautiful capes, gowns, and costumes in the entire universe. He marveled at how they twirled and danced and laughed.
You see, once you're able to bring out the best in who you are, you'll be able to see the best in everyone else.
At that moment, Johnny Gray realized that he really did like Lulu's colorful hair. In fact, when he first saw her, he remembered how amazed he was looking at all of her colors. He just didn't know how to tell her because she was so different. He dropped the cape on the floor, and as it hit the ground softly, another kid yelled out to Johnny Gray.
Your hair is turning blue and green, Johnny Gray. It looks so cool.
Another kid then shouted out,
I see it too!
It's wonderful! I love it! Look at all of his colors.
Before you knew it, Johnny Gray's head started to tilt upward, his posture straightened up, his smile got a little brighter, his eyes even had a sparkle in them. Then he began to strut through the crowd like a...
peacock?
Yes, Patty. He started laughing and twirling with all the other kids. Lulu saw all of the excitement, the dancing, the laughing, the colors, and it reminded her of her favorite day of the year back on Planet Colorium, the day of the Color Blast Festival. She felt at home. That day marked the first day of the annual Color Blast Extravaganza Festival of Planet Graybrown. From that day forth, all of the children on Planet Graybrown were able to find their own true colors.
Well, that is just splendid indeed. Now that I think about it, I think it's okay for everyone to look different. Some of us have many colors, some of us have few, some of us may even be all gray. We can all strut our stuff and feel good. It's about how we feel inside.
I agree.
Wait.
Yes, Patty, what is it?
I just noticed that your hair in the back, it has the same pink patch that Lulu had.
Oh, goodness, I guess it's kind of hard to hide your true colors, isn't it?
Wait a minute. Is that the faded birthmark? Do you have the wand too that Grandma Colorina gave you?
No, I do not, Patty. I gave it to Johnny Gray for when he needed a little boost of confidence. These days, I rely on my own magic.
That was Lulu's new cape.
By Brandice Peltier. Starring
Lanee Sanders, Anna Noy, Annie Henk, and Randy McKay.
Produced by Tessa Flannery. Executive produced by me, Rebecca Cunningham.
Hosted by me, Blake.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And if you love this story, share it with a friend. Grownups, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook.
And remember, I believe in you.